because I have met these students and spoken with them, to ask to come to the podium to address you, our salutatorian, Ms. Kirby Kempe.
Good evening, parents, teachers, friends, and fellow classmates, and thank you for being here tonight to honor the class of 2009 as we spend our last official moments as seniors at the Benjamin School. Now, I have to be honest and start out by admitting that I'm feeling pretty uncomfortable up here today, not only because public speaking is not my forte, but because while I'm honored to be speaking as salutatorian of the senior class, I don't feel as if anything I have to say is any more important than that of my classmates. So therefore, I'm not here tonight to share any profound words of wisdom or to motivate anyone to run through walls with newfound confidence or revelation. I just wanted to share what I've been feeling as we approach graduation. And while I can only speak for myself, knowing my classmates as I've gotten to know these past 14 years, I'm fairly confident that a lot of them are feeling the same way, and they can agree with me in my assessments. So I was recently talking to one of Benjamin's most esteemed faculty members and a trusted mentor of mine, and he asked me how I was feeling as graduation approached. And to be honest, the first emotion that came to my mind was frustration. Now, that might be one of the last things you would expect me to be feeling tonight, because, I mean, let's be honest, as Elizabeth Cooney so aptly put it, tonight is the biggest night of my life. Bigger than all those other biggest nights of my life. Yeah, man. But when he asked me how I was feeling, I was frustrated. See, on Tuesday night, Stephen Perlberg and I had the opportunity to address the incoming freshman class and just talk to them about high school and what to expect. And one of the things that both of us talked about was how high school is a time to create yourself. So do what you love, find your niche. So I was frustrated because I finally found my niche at Benjamin and now I have to leave. After 14 years, I finally found the people with whom I want to spend my time, the activities in which I want to be involved, the subjects I want to study. I found my support system, my best friends, and now in a few months I'll have to leave it all behind. It didn't seem fair, I was just getting started. And I was reminded of a time last year when my brother Connor was graduating. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a great kid and we all love him, but he didn't exactly make my parents' first trip through high school and easy experience. So I remember my mom saying last year that just as Connor was becoming a pleasant and happy young man and she was just starting to like him again, he was leaving and going off to college. Now, in her defense, I think she was kidding. But at the time, I just rolled my eyes and called her dramatic. But I was starting to see where she was coming from. And the more I thought about it, the more upset I got about going off to college and graduating. But I'm a very logical person, so in talking it out with this teacher, I started to realize that while it seemed unfair, it was only logical that we take this next step in our lives. Benjamin is a small community, and I love that about the school. I've been able to become great friends with all of my classmates, and I've known a lot of them for as long as I can remember. We've gone from making ducks out of packaging peanuts to line the pond on the Kirby campus to just a few days ago jumping into the pond and celebrating graduation. We've grown up together, and in doing so, we discovered all that we can about ourselves that this environment enables us. It's not a bad thing, but we've grown in Benjamin and with Benjamin, and we have a lot more growing ahead of us. But we must branch out in order to find the room in which to do this growing. It's hard to think that the members of this class of 2009, some of us who've been together for over 3/4 of our lives, are now settling on very different paths. There's only so much digression we've been able to do here together at Benjamin, but now these previously parallel paths will diverge and will take us to entirely new places. So yes, I was frustrated that I had to leave behind these things that I had just begun to love. But the alternative, if we had just one more year here at Benjamin, a sort of super senior year before we graduated when we can spend it with our friends, I believe it wouldn't be entirely different from these past few months, and more importantly, we wouldn't be any different. And if there's one thing I've learned about my classmates, it's that none of us likes to be bored. So we've created ourselves within the confines of our environment, and now it's time to move on. We've all had a taste of what the future holds. We've visited our colleges of choice, spent 40 hours in a possible career. I know I personally have seen myself as an undergraduate at Rice University and later on scrubbed in for surgery. Thanks again, Dr. Kinney. But these students may have been a foreshadow of my future, but of that I cannot be sure. And that's the point of us standing here tonight. We need that uncertainty now. For the past 14 years, I probably could have predicted with about 73% accuracy what I would be doing every weekend and who I would be spending my time with. And the same goes for most of my classmates. And sure, we've had fun doing it, but now we need to be thrust out of our comfort zones, challenged to discover ourselves, once again, in an entirely different environment. In a few months, my classmates and I will all be spending the majority of our time with people we don't even know exist yet. And for part of me, that was exhilarating, and the other part, terrifying. So it seemed unfair. We love what we're doing, why should we have to change? We want to stay with what's comfortable and with what we know. But we need to take that next step. We need a new environment, new surroundings, and new people to bring out the best in us. It's scary, but we need it. And I don't know what the whole future holds for me or for any of my classmates, but I do know one thing, that we're ready for whatever it is, each and every one of us. And because this wouldn't be a graduation speech without a quote, I believe that Charles Dickens best expressed what I've been feeling. Every traveler has a home of his own, and he learns to appreciate it the more from the wandering. We have all created our own unique home here at Benjamin, but now it's time for us to wander and to gain new perspectives. But we must never forget to come back here, every once in a while, to our home, and to remember these feelings of pure contentment we've all experienced here, before once again wandering off to the unknown. So, thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2009.